Alright guys, let's play a game. How long can Coop go in a video without mentioning that he's a Pelicans fan? Comment your answer down in the comments below. Wait, does that mean that the game's already over? Did I already lose the game? Pelicans Nation! Go ahead and stand up. We have hired Stan Van Gundy, so go ahead and sit right back down. If you're a Pelicans fan like me, maybe you love the move, maybe you're frustrated, and maybe you have the approach that's, let's just wait and see exactly how it turns out. If you are like me, then you are somewhere in the middle. As a Pelicans fan, this move strikes me in a way that I really didn't see coming. I guess because I saw the move coming, but there was no way I could have properly prepared for Stan Van Gundy being the next head coach of the New Orleans Pelicans. I'm going to be as candid as possible. I'm really not going to try to hold back. I did this on Twitter earlier discussing the possible hiring of Stan Van Gundy, and I had Pelicans writers and Pelicans, I don't know, just Pelicans fans kind of come at me for not having Stan Van Gundy as my absolute favorite coaching candidate. We'll discuss all of this and more in just a second. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. You will not want to miss another Get Like Coop video, and that's facts. Guys, if you could do me a giant favor, drop a thumbs up on this video. It tells YouTube you guys enjoy my content, and it also shows me you guys like what you are seeing. Lastly, if you guys love the NBA or you just love my channel, you find yourself getting recommended a lot of my videos, but you just haven't hit subscribe yet, go ahead and subscribe. I want to turn my channel into one of the biggest and best basketball channels and communities in NBA YouTube, so that is definitely one of my goals. It would mean a lot if you guys could help me reach it. My stream and my NFL channel are in the description below. Now that we got all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk Stan Van Gundy to the New Orleans Pelicans. If you're like me, you try to find the positive in things, but if you are also like me, then you are a very, 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 very big realist. That doesn't mean you're a negative person necessarily. It just means you have a very real and logical perspective when it comes to viewing things. Yes, I could be a biased Pelicans fan, or I can be somebody that has seen this organization fail time after time after time. And just because they're my favorite team, that doesn't mean I'm going to let them off of the hook for their poor performance. Let's take a quick second and look at some Stan Van Gundy coaching stats. You look at the stats, you look at his record, and you're like, wow, this actually is not bad at all. He's 523 and 384, which means he has 523 wins, 384 losses, a .577 win percentage. Not bad at all when you look at it. That's actually pretty good. But you look at his stints in Miami, Orlando, and Detroit, and one thing you notice from the stints is he's never won an NBA championship, and he's been to the NBA Finals one time. That one time he made the NBA Finals, he had an amazing team. He had Dwight Howard, Hedo Turkoglu, Jameer Nelson, Skip Samalu, and a lot of other players that I'm just not naming. I can't emphasize how good Rashard Lewis was for them. He was legit like my favorite player in the NBA at this time. And then I feel like people really forgot how good Dwight Howard once was. Not saying he's bad now, but Dwight Howard was once like a top 5 player in the NBA, 10 at worst. He was a legit bona fide beast. He was giving us shades of Shaq at times. So you look at his stints in Orlando, you see a couple of seasons with 72 win percentage, and you're like, man, he was cooking over there. And you look at the system that he had around Dwight Howard, and you really, really like it, especially considering the Pelicans have a polarizing low post player in Zion Williamson. So you hope that maybe he could replicate some of that Orlando success. Now, when you go back to an earlier stint in Miami, the 05-06 season, Miami actually ends up winning the championship that season with Dwayne Wade and Shaquille O'Neal. D-Wade went off, and Shaq, of course, was a valuable piece. Don't care what anybody says. Does anybody actually remember win a ring for the King? Okay, that's entirely too random. So, to start the season, Stan Van Gundy actually was the coach of the Miami Heat. They go 11-10, and then Stan Van Gundy eventually ends up leaving the team. Pat Riley takes over. Pat Riley goes 41-20 after the 11-10 start, and the Miami Heat would become eventual NBA champions. Shaq said that Pat Riley knew what he was doing, him being a great leader. He made a decision. That's what great leaders do. And Pat Riley made the right decision and led us to the championship that year. Okay, so now that we got the past out of the way, let's go ahead and fast forward to his most recent coaching stint in Detroit. Van Gundy also managed the roster of this Detroit team. Some people don't hold that against him. I will. In Detroit, Van Gundy had one winning season, and his whole time there, Detroit was kind of a mess. At one point, Detroit trotted out Josh Smith, Greg Monroe, and Andre Drummond. None of these guys have any semblance of a jump shot. Keep in mind, he was the GM of this team. If he wanted a jump shooting lineup, he could have got it. So yeah, that was entirely a mess. I'm being really critical and kind of hard on Van Gundy, even though I'm kind of just reading off his stats and saying things he did. But you guys get my point. I am being a little hard on him. I just think the Pelicans are in a very, very tough spot. Zion Williamson, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram. I need Van Gundy to get the best out of these three players and also develop Jackson Hayes. If he just plays Jackson Hayes starter minutes, I'm going to consider Stan Van Gundy the fattest W in Pelicans history. If he realizes Brandon Ingram can be the focal point of our offense and get more Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson screen and rolls, again, I'm going to call Stan Van Gundy a fat W. Now, if Van Gundy gets Lonzo playing the basketball that we all know Lonzo Ball can play and gets this team locked in, the Pelicans could be a dangerous team going forward. Van Gundy has said himself, this Pelicans team is loaded with talent. I mean, I didn't even name Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who's one of my favorite players on the roster, and has the talent to be very, very good on this team. Now, again, I don't hate the Van Gundy hire. I don't like it. I really don't have any feelings towards the hire. He's not who I would have hired, and if this hiring goes bad, the Pelicans are in a really tough spot. I don't think the Pelicans can afford Van Gundy the 5 years or so that they gave Alvin Gentry. If it's not working out, cut ties early, which is why I'm kind of surprised Van Gundy's contract is so long. I thought Kenny Atkinson was right there for the taking. I would have loved to see him coach this young Pelicans team. I really did think that the Pelicans might go out and hire a new candidate. That's what I would have preferred. A candidate that has a ton of upside, but some of it may be untapped. Some of the best coaches in the NBA, and the best coaches in my opinion in the NBA, are coaches that were given chances to be first-time head coaches. I'm talking about guys like Spo. I'm talking about guys like Nurse. I'm talking about guys like Brad Stevens. Right now in the NBA, those are my three best coaches. And yes, guys like Carlisle's and Bud, those are great coaches in their own right. But I'm sure you guys understand what I'm saying. And Bud was phenomenal in Atlanta, so it's no shock that he did good things with the Milwaukee Bucks in the regular season. But I mean, let's be real. We see coaches get recycled all of the time, even bad coaches, even mediocre coaches. It's kind of frustrating to a point, and at least it's not as bad in the NBA as it is in the NFL. I personally understand that life is all about chances. I mean, hey, even look at the chance the Warriors took with Steve Kerr. This is going to sound so dumb, but in order to be a successful NBA coach, you need the chance to coach an NBA team. And I'm not going to lie, Van Gundy's Orlando accomplishments don't do anything for me. That was a decade ago, and the NBA has changed so much since then. Just because you were good back then in that era doesn't mean you're going to be good in this new basketball era. Of course, again, my opinion, but basketball changing and devolving constantly is fact. In the comments below, I want to know what player you guys think Van Gundy is most going to help out on the Pelicans, and as a matter of fact, sell me on Van Gundy in the comments below. Please do everything you can to sell me. I see the upside, but I want to know your opinions on the hiring, and if you really don't like the hiring, let me know why, again, down in the comments below. If the Pelicans got the right coach, Zion comes back in shape, and they hit in the draft this year, this is a team that could be on the verge of running the league for the next decade. Hey, I can dream, right? The talent is there. This team just needs production. Be sure to click the video on the screen right now. Be sure to subscribe. I'm GetLikeCoop, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.